Bonjour et bonsoir. Welcome back to my channel. This is a Valet Storm. Please share, like, and subscribe. Welcome, my raindrops. This is a Valet Storm, and I would love to discuss the new biopic that they're producing about Vanity's life. I've been researching it for a while. It was supposed to happen years ago, but it never happened. But now they're talking about it again. And they did an interview with a lady named Nova, and I'd like you guys to listen to it.
That is very cool. I have to ask this because this is ultimately one of the things we're talking about here. So there is, and I want to make sure I'm stating it right, there is a movie to be made about the R&B singer Vanity. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. I actually spent a lot of time with her name was Denise Matthews.
Right.
She had denounced the name Vanity, and I'll explain why if you're not familiar with the story. So Denise and I we merged paths a few years back, and again, I think these things just happen to me in a way, in a very divine way. So I always thank God for that. So I ended up merging paths with her because I was interested in her story, and the reason that I had interest in it is because when I was young, I came across a film called The Last Dragon, and during the time that I came across that film, it had been maybe about over a decade, close to 2 decades since the film had been made. So I wasn't really familiar with anything other than the fact that I thought it was a really cute film, and the main thing that stood out for me was that it was really the first time, especially me as a child, it was the first time that I had ever seen a woman on TV that I could relate to, because I'm a brown-skinned woman, I'm a minority, and I had never saw that.
Right.
And so seeing this woman on TV, I really gravitated towards her, and especially because she reminded me of my mother. So a few years passed, and one day I was just, kind of sitting down in my living room, and I was thinking about different stories and people that I'd love to engage in, and she popped up in my head. And mind you, I didn't know anything other than this movie about her. So I actually asked my older brother, who was very in tune with all of that stuff. And I said to him, what happened to this actress? Her name was Vanity. And he said, oh, she's a born-again Christian. And that really sparked my interest, because I'm a born-again Christian. I was raised in evangelism through my mom. And even though I had moments that I steered completely away from it, I'm so thankful that the Lord beat me over the head and brought me back, which I think was important for me. I had a lot of different parts of my life that I felt lost, and I didn't find myself again until I really made that connection with God. So I really understood that part of her life. But what I didn't know was that she had also had a heavy drug use. She had done freebase cocaine for quite some time, and especially during her stint in Hollywood, to the tune where it led her to lose a kidney, and then she had one kidney left, working at about 35%.
Wow.
So taking all of that into consideration, I really just got really animated about the idea of having a conversation with this woman. And so I was able to connect with her. And in the beginning, it was tough. She was a little hard on me, because I think she was just so accustomed to people really using her and just being salacious. And so I just said to her, like, listen, I don't have any other intentions other than the fact that I'm interested. And if you don't really feel like connecting, I respect that. And I think her and I were very similar in that sense. We were very firm about our intentions. And after that conversation, she actually called me back. So she apologized, and she said, I'm so sorry. I don't want you to think that I'm tough or hard. I actually am very fond of you. And little by little, we really started to form this friendship. We had this great chemistry, and we would talk about everything. And so what ended up happening is she had spent so many years just being, unfortunately, a drug user, that a lot of her memories had sort of faded away. But when her and I started to speak, she started to remember a lot of these things. And so what ended up happening is that she confided in me to record our conversations, and she made me privy to pretty much her entire life, who she was before she was Vanity, and who she was after Vanity, and who she was during, her moments of being this alter ego Vanity. And mind you, again, I didn't know a lot about her, so I really went in completely unbiased to her story, to her person or to anything. So when she started to talk to me about Prince, I mean, that was also brand new to me because I was like, oh, wait, what? So again, that happened. And then somewhere down the line, this was all, these connections were all being done through conversations for many, many days, weeks, and months. And then eventually about 2 years into our conversations, she says, you know, I've been speaking to you for 2 years. You know what I look like. Everybody knows what I look like. Send me a picture of your mug. Yeah. And so we laughed about it. And I sent her a picture and she says to me, this is you? And I said, yeah. She said, oh my God, you're like my kid. You know, and so we laughed about it. I mean, that was something that I was told often growing up as well, was that I had similarities to her. And again, I didn't even know who this woman was. And so after that, she said to me, you know what, you need to come down and you need to stay with me for a couple of days, week. And that's how this all came about, this whole idea of we're going to put together her film. And so she began to mold me into the character that was Vanity, and then also the character that became the evangelist Denise Matthews. But it was just an amazing experience.
So it does seem like they are trying to put together a biopic about Vanity, but I would like to know what you guys think. Who do you think would be best suited for the role?